balls and banter. Balls and banter. No excuses, just win, win, win with your balls and banter. We got balls, we got pucks, we got sticks, we got everything in between. We got balls and banter.
All right, folks, it's Thursday. So glad to be with you. Sorry for the folks who were waiting for us live. This is having to be uploaded later, as you see with the time. We had some coder issues, tech gremlins. So we're just going to drive ahead. We'll get everything out to you now. This is when you're seeing us live and in color. Wish that didn't happen. Tom, Nate, how are you boys?
Excellent. Yes, I am all geared up for my. I'm trying to get him the shot here. For my son's graduation, he officially will be joining the SEC.
As a Florida Gator?
As a Florida Gator, and for all you haters out there, Florida is the number 2 hardest school to get into in the SEC behind Vanderbilt.
It has gotten really strict. Both of you guys look outstanding today, by the way. Love the get up, Nate. No, it's a tough school. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's become, even for, used to be in-state, it was easier, not like Florida State. I'm not trying to bash Florida State, but not like Florida State, but it's just ratcheted up year after year to the point where now, it's rivaling, the UNCs and Michigans of the world that are public state universities, but super elite. Really, really a good academic school. No two ways about it.
I got to show you something real quick. So in talking with my ex-wife on what to get my son for a graduation gift, she's like, just give him cash. And I was like, okay. And so I decided to give him cash, but I got this to put the cash in. I don't know. Let me try and.
A Domino's pizza box?
Yes.
What's it say, though? I can't read it.
It says, it's got the Domino's logo. It says graduation dough. You can't live on pizza alone, so here's some dough. And on the back of it, it says, you've needed knowledge, risen to challenges, and now it's time to savor your success. Here's some dough to fuel your next adventure.
I love it. I love it. A lot of people will say, and I think there's truth to it in some circumstances. I think it's circumstance specific. But some people say it's cold and not thoughtful because you haven't put thoughts, into the gift. But sometimes people put thoughts into the gifts and they suck, and it's not what you want. So sometimes cold, hard cash just is the way to go. I'm not opposed to it. I don't feel like it's mailing it in to give cash.
But I also gave him a flat Earth map to hang in his dorm room.
Oh, of course you did. Of course he did. Nate, are you okay with cash gifts? You're not a cash gift guy. What's your thought on it?
Yeah, I think cash is kind of the standard for graduation.
Yeah.
Especially at that age, to have a bunch of random people buying something, like somebody's going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cash is the way to go for
cash is good. Well, and there's obviously weddings are different because you're doing a wedding registry. You're saying, buy me this. That's a different story. But for graduations, for birthdays, for different stuff, it's like, if we're not going to do a registry, which my kids are younger, so they basically do a registry. It's not a registry, but it's, here's my Amazon list, pick and choose from it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of cash. Well, let's get into some stuff here, and let's start on a depressing note. The Minnesota Wild, first team in NHL history to have a 3-goal lead, 3 or more goals. It was 3-0 at the end of the first period, and then have fewer than 10 shots the rest of the way and end up losing. We're setting all sorts of records, just not the ones we want to in Minnesota. Wild fell last night in overtime 4-3 to the Avalanche. It was devastating. The peaks and valleys in our home last night were substantial. They were super substantial. And man, I tell you what, Colorado, hell of a team, they were the best team in the league all year. They proved it yet again last night. We'll talk about it more, but first let's listen to Quinn Hughes on the loss afterwards.
Did you get a sense there that that you said that your guys sag a little bit there, and they got that, that last push because they also had the goalie pulled. Was that a moment right there where it was like you needed a better response?
I mean, obviously you're a little bit more comfortable with a 2-goal lead when the goalie's out, but I mean, you're still up 3-2. I would have taken that, before the game. Ultimately, like, it could have been, we win a puck battle, we ice it down, and that's the game. It could have went that way too. Not the way it went.
How do you feel overall your first experience in Minnesota, 6 months, and the group you have and what you have going forward?
That later, as we have exit meetings and whatnot. Just right now, a tough one.
You've been a part of some big wins, some tough losses. Is this one of the toughest losses that you've faced in your career so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously lost in Game 7 in the second round twice, but I mean, this one stings. Just love the guys, love the coaching staff, the whole organization. Yeah, I mean, this one really stings. I just felt like we had a really good team, and you get through these guys, you never know, but I mean, if we had to lose, you want to lose to these guys. These guys are the best. President's Trophy. So yeah, it stings right now just because I feel like we had a really great team. So yeah.
All right, so tough loss, stud player. Love that he mentioned that he loved the teammates and the coaching staff and the organization because he is up on his contract. We inherited the contract from the Canucks, and Quinn Hughes is either going to be extended or he's not. Hopefully they will. I think they will move heaven and earth to try and do that because the dude is just a special player. I mean, I think he's I'm not saying the best player, but the best skater in the league, and then among the best players. You watch him move around the ice, and it's like a thing of beauty. Like the stuff that he does. I mean, Quinn makes adult, highly paid professional athletes on the ice look silly sometimes. Kind of, he does like the equivalent of some Barry Sanders jukes on the football field. The way he just moves it around there. Absolute stud. That family, I mean, the amount of pro hockey players that have come out of that vagina is outstanding. They make hockey players and they make winners in the Hughes family. And this really was. I don't know what your take is, Nate, Tom, but you make it through this. The Avalanche were the best team, no doubt, throughout the year. You make it through this. Minnesota, top 3 team throughout the year. They beat arguably the second best team during the regular season and the Stars. I think whoever wins this series has a great shot. Obviously, the Avalanche, the best shot. But if the Wild had won that, like Quinn said, like who knows? Like sky's the limit for that team. That's a deep lines, lots of talent. Really, really good year. And I think he's right. If you're going to lose, you want to lose to the best. Hold your chin high because there's a lot of reasons to still be optimistic in Minnesota, even though it's Minnesota and we get devastated all the time.
I know. I mean, what would Minnesota be? What would Minnesota sports be without a devastating loss in the playoffs?
There's this clip the other day on Barstool, and they'll do like their office like polls or whatever, and they go around and ask all the staff. And by the way, I wish we had a staff like that, but they're going around asking, I don't know, 2 dozen people. What's the only major city with the big 4 franchises that I forget the timeline, hasn't won a championship in X amount of years? They're all guessing wrong. I'm like, Minnesota, they're all guessing wrong. Finally, they start to get it right towards the end. But all the first people, they're like, bringing up Philly and all these teams, like they just won recently in the NFL. They're bringing up this team. They just won. Like, no, this is an obvious one. Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Twin Cities, we have all the major sports, and we haven't won anything since '91 with the Twins. It is so damn painful. But this was a really special team, no doubt, and the Avs even more special. What's your thought, Nate?
Well, I mean, they went out and swung and got Quinn in mid-season, and it was a great move, but it'd be sad to see it not equal out to anything, and especially if he leaves,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Why did the Canadians move on from him or trade him away? It was kind of bizarre. I don't know if they thought they couldn't re-sign him or what, but
The thing is, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say there's a couple of things. The Avalanche are just, to me, in a league by themselves. They the entire season, the playoffs, they're on a roll and have been on a roll. Quinn, you're right. He does move on the ice like Brian Boitano, but more refreshing the most refreshing thing that I found about that clip that you just played is rarely seldom do we see a professional athlete speak the way that he did, where you could actually feel through the screen how much he hates losing. And with all these giant contracts, and I know the NHL doesn't make as much as the NFL and the NBA, but you could just tell that he would rather eat glass than lose. And to me, that's one of the reasons why I really love sports, is when I see athletes like him who are speaking to the press, and you can tell that the loss is absolutely just eating their insides.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was raw, it was gritty, and you could feel, the emotion did just jump through the screen. Man, Billy Guerin, Minnesota GM, you do everything it takes to get that guy back, because if you have Quinn Hughes, Kirill Kaprizov, you have Boldy, you have Faber, you got Wallstedt, who played pretty well last night despite the comeback. Like, there's so many pieces there, and who knows? That Central Division in the NHL West it's a tough freaking division. No two ways about it. Couple quick things here. Kevin Garnett's daughter, Capri, who's tall, beautiful gal, by the way, but got the tall gene from Kevin, is going to A2, going to play volleyball at the University of Michigan. Congrats to them. These tall volleyball players, these outside hitters, like, I knew several of them in college, and then knew several in high school too. They're impressive athletes. They really. The other players are impressive too, but you see them, it's like, daggum, you're tall, and then you're super athletic. But thrilled for Kevin Garnett. Obviously they've got the T-Wolf and Michigan connection here, so I just wanted to mention it. Then Tiger Woods, it's been 6 weeks. His plane touched down. He's been, spending time in Switzerland doing rehab. He's back stateside. So hopefully we get, hopefully he doesn't drive ever again, and hopefully we get a better version of Tiger, and he keeps being on the mend and moving in the right direction. Because we always talk about it. We talk about it with Tiger a lot, because he puts himself in these situations. Who doesn't love a good comeback story? Who doesn't want to see people succeed, get better, feel better, do better? And Tiger definitely fits in that camp. I hope that he does well. Is he going to go out and win a bunch of majors again on the tour? No, probably not. Is it possible? It's Tiger. Anything's possible. But you just, as a human, want to see him doing better, feeling better. So hopefully that goes well. Okay, first two. Let's go to football here. We got today's NFL schedule. At least we're going to talk about that. First two college game day locations, though. We'll start college. Have been announced. Week 1, Clemson at LSU. Yeah, hard to not pick that one for week 1. That's a hell of a game. And then Ohio State, Texas, week 2, September, I think it's 12th or 13th, can't read, 12th, which is just outstanding also. Like, some like last year, some just baller games out the gate. That's where those are going to be, and I don't know how you argue against that. You could argue Michigan, Oklahoma is also that second week, but I think that's where they did it last year. They did it in Norman. This year it's in Ann Arbor. Texas, Ohio State arguably is a better matchup this year. So I think that they got those right. Good job, College Game Day. What do you guys think?
Outstanding, yeah. You get Lane Kiffin's debut at LSU, and then the Ohio State Texas game hopefully should be good. Texas was a bit of a disappointment last season, ranked so high out the gate and kind of didn't really meet those expectations, but this year could be different. So it'd be a great start.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, and that's going to be the storyline. There's a lot of interesting storylines, of course. Kiffin's one of them. Whittingham and Michigan. It is for me, but I think it is nationally too. Whittingham and Michigan. But probably the biggest storyline is what kind of a year does Arch have? Because there was obviously some frustration, some disappointment last year. You get an early test going into a really tough environment. And playing a team like Ohio State, that's an interesting that's one of those things where you can, not to say it's going to make or break his year or his career or his life. That's not true. But you can really make a name for yourself if you say, hey, I stayed back because I want to develop and get better, which I think is a great move and a class act move and the smart move. And then you go and you play the Buckeyes and you get a win. Even if you don't get a win, but you play a hell of a game and it's close, but certainly if you get a win, that catapults you to be more in line with the expectations of what everyone has had for Arch Manning.
I'm going to make a prediction right here, right now, and I want you to clip this, Drew, because when it comes true, you'll be like, holy smokes, how did you know that? And it is this is my prediction. The game day with LSU and Clemson, that's going to be one of the highest watched game days and also one of the highest watched games. And I'm saying this because on the heels of Lane Kiffin and what he said to Vanity Fair about Ole Miss having the undergird of racism still, within the halls of the campus. I think, to me, that was more of a PR move to get out in front of something that's going to drop. And if it's not, I think Lane has ruffled some feathers at Ole Miss, especially when it comes to the alums who've got a lot of money. So I see in the next couple of months, I think we're going to get closer to football season where we're going to start seeing a drip, 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 kind of like the Diana Rossini story, because there's been way too many stories of Lane Kiffin playing pickleball with co-eds, Lane Kiffin, just
hanging out with his daughter's friends. Being
Lane. And I think he made a mistake by doing what he did in that article, and I don't think it's going to sit well with people with lots of money. And if they decide to go after him, that game day is going to be big, and I think they will go after him. And I think that once we approach football season and lead up to that game, I think we're going to be talking about whatever Lane did in his past has resurfaced.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I know a lot of people who know and or have been around Lane. I can't vouch for it myself. There are lots of stories and rumors about Lane out there. What's all true, what's not, I don't know. But I wouldn't be shocked if you were 100% correct on this. I'm pretty damn certain there's some damning stuff out there on him. Look, there is on a lot of us, but the levels, vary a little bit. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That could be. He certainly has. And that's the thing too. He's taken us on such a journey because there was parts of last year. He's posting motivational stuff. He stops drinking alcohol. He stops doing things. He does lots of life changes that seems like he's getting his self on track. And then everything blows up. Things end at Ole Miss the way they do. You see some of the things he's said and done since he left, where he's kind of gone back to vintage Lane. It's like, man, I was rooting for you because, we said it earlier, you like that comeback story, you've matured and you're making better decisions. I think that was all just total bullshit, and you're still just the same dude. I mean, that's just the vibe that has come out in the last several months. All right.
Yeah. I don't know much about Lane, so I don't have the inside info there.
Yeah, and I had such high hopes for Lane because, Drew, you know this better than anybody. I have a massive hole in my heart for Mike Leach, and I thought that he would be able to fill that, but there's no filling that Mike Leach hole I have.
No, and no one should be filling your hole either. But the thing that's crazy about and then we'll move on from this. But the thing that's crazy about saying it's hard, because he was inferring / directly said it's harder to recruit at Ole Miss because they're racist, or the campus is and the history is. Bro, you got Ole Miss, who's not a traditional power, good football school, yes, not a traditional power, into the playoffs last year. They had an amazing year. You recruited some star talent, and they've done it again this year. Is it easier to recruit at LSU? Yes. But I think you can, and does Mississippi have that lore about it? Do they have those colors and there's the flag and okay, fine. But everyone already kind of thinks the Southeast is racist anyways. It's not like Ole Miss is the only place. It's not true, but there's this conception. I just think that's a silly thing to say, unless it's something like you're talking about, Tom, where he's dropping these big things here. Pay attention to this so I can get ahead of this. We'll see. Time will tell. We talked about the 2014 playoff format that's been suggested by some. We all agreed we don't want it around these parts. But you know who does? The commissioners of the Big 12 and the ACC. They've come out. We can slap this up on 3, put this out. Big 12 and ACC support a 24-team college football playoff format. Commissioners Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips tell Brett McMurphy. To which I just say, of course they do. Like, if there's 2 conferences, Power 4 conferences, obviously there's only 4, SEC, Big 10 win big from this. But the only way that you really start to have significant presence in this playoff, if you're an ACC or a Big 12 team, is if you go to 24. You're going to get whatever 1 or 2 in at the 16 mark if it goes to that. But to me, this is not shocking at all. Needless to say that the ACC and the Big 12 are for this, because I think that they're the conferences who win. Does a Group of 5 conference win somewhere, or a Group of 5 team? Yeah, of course they do. But the ACC and the Big 12 are probably the biggest winners with a 24-team playoff format, in my view. Nate, do you agree, disagree?
Oh, absolutely. They were noticeably absent in previous years from the college playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to be the ones that benefit the most, I would think. It'd be crazy to see the SEC and Big 10 just go even bigger and just soak up the rest of those spots, though.
Yeah.
Northwestern gets in there with their new stadium.
That would be the ultimate power move. Oh, you want 24? All right, bitches. Here's the deal. We're taking 12 from each conference. Our bottom 4 will stay home. Yeah, that would be remarkable. Well, they're going to soak up so much, man. If the playoff is a sponge, the Big 10 and SEC are going to soak up a lot of that liquid. But I think that's the way. You're an ACC guy, Tom. You have ACC ties, I should say. I mean, this it makes sense what they're thinking.
Oh yeah, more money. Gotta do it, baby. Gotta do it. We're on the verge of the Super League. If you don't have it, it's going to be rough going for everybody else. And so until everything consolidates, it's a money grab right now.
Yeah. No. That's what it is. All right, well, let's talk NFL. Schedule released today, they've actually, I mean, there's a lot that's leaked out. I've not seen the full thing leaked out, but I've seen like the Vikings, for example. I've got 70% of the games kind of buttoned up. Going to get drinks with the brothers later tonight, and we'll figure out which weeks we're going. But there have been, yesterday was the international games. We talked about a couple others on Tuesday. Let's talk about what we do know. And let's start here, because the holidays, and there's another image that I don't have that I'll speak to, but we'll start with Thanksgiving. So this is the Thanksgiving slate right here. And I'm telling you, this is a badass Thanksgiving slate. So Thanksgiving Eve, you've got Packers-Rams. 2 great teams. That's going to be awesome. It's on Netflix. I do hate, like Tom does, how the NFL is splitting you up between 84 different platforms. But the game is going to be great on its own accord. Then Thanksgiving, you've got the traditional 2 teams hosting, the Lions hosting the early game. They're having the Bears come into town, so you've got a good 2 great teams. Bears win the NFC North last year. Bears, Lions. Either of those teams are in contention, as we spoke about, and continue to speak about. NFC North, one of the toughest, if not the toughest, divisions in the league. So that's a great game, division game. Then you got another division game we spoke about the other day. Eagles going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Great divisional matchup. And then you got Chiefs, Bills at night. And then Black Friday, since the NFL wants more money and more eyeballs, but we'll take it because it's more football, praise Jesus. We've got the Broncos and the Steelers on Friday on Amazon. That, my friends, is a really good Thursday slate. Like, I might not go to Thanksgiving with my family. I might just stay home and be in my sweats. I'll make my own meal, like extended family, that is. But that's a hell of a lineup, wouldn't you say?
Most definitely. I mean, If I am a network executive, I am just giddy right now. I'm running around rubbing up on everybody like a cat in heat at this moment because you've landed some really good games, and the NFL is just going to be beside themselves. I can picture Roger Goodell in a wet bathing suit rubbing up against a wall.
That's the visual. That's what we've all been hoping for so long. Yeah, I mean, like some years, Nate, like we get some of these games where it's like, okay, this is tradition. We're making the meal, we're eating the meal, we're hanging out, we're uncomfortable because we've eaten so much. We're uncomfortable again because we've gone back for leftovers. And you have these games on, but some of the years, they're just not that great. Like, obviously, injuries could happen, things could change, shit could hit the fan. That's one of the best Thanksgiving lineups I think I've ever seen assembled based on what we have, what we know about these teams right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions usually suck. So we're in this rare era where the Lions are good. They're playing the Bears. The Bears are good. The Packers are playing. I almost wonder if we should just do the NFC North plays four games every Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
And
Black
Cowboys are good.
Yeah.
We're getting kind of spoiled because before we always just had, the Cowboys and the Lions playing. It seems like the Cowboys usually played Washington, and, they're usually pretty hit or miss. But, right now they're firing on all cylinders. They love throwing the Chiefs and the Bills at us every year, and then we're seeing them in the playoffs, so we got that going for us. Denver and Pittsburgh will be interesting. We'll see how good Pittsburgh is this year. But, historically, it's a good franchise to have on Thanksgiving. They're very tough, gritted, defensive-minded.
Yeah. What's the latest? I know Aaron went to Pittsburgh. Did he end? I didn't see anything. Did he end up signing, or is he still holding out? Not holding out, but he has not signed, right?
He has not signed yet, no. And I believe they're talking up that Penn State quarterback that they drafted.
Drew Aller?
Yeah, Aller. I was like, I can't remember how to say his name.
Very punchable face.
Yeah, he's got some good measurables, the
Great
height.
measure. Yeah.
Big hands, everything. So I know I read something the other day that they're trying to unlearn him, basically everything he's learned to change his style.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see what they do, but clearly they want to start building something so they don't have to play this Aaron Rodgers game every offseason.
100%. Well, and I think Drew Aller is the prototypical NFL quarterback in terms of frame, arm strength, all the things. He's got a lot going for him. He's coming from a great program in Penn State. You would think if you're Pittsburgh, you really do, and obviously they do. This is the truth. Like they want this to be the case too. Aaron's good at mentoring guys. Can you come back for one more year and give he and Will Howard a little bit? Because Mason Rudolph's not the veteran that you want in your ear. Not that he's terrible, but if you can have Aaron Rodgers kind of walking you through things, showing you how you do things, not necessarily the holdout every spring thing, but the other elements. That would be ideal and honestly, if you're Drew Aller or Will Howard, who they drafted last year out of that from the team down south, like they benefit from this, like because the expectations of being the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a renowned, tradition-rich organization, are high. So when you do get your name called, you want to be ready. If you get thrown out there this year, like I think that sets up either one of those young kids for a struggling, frustrating year. Okay, Christmas. I don't have this graphic. I saw it right as I was coming in before, and then we dealt with all the different tech issues, so I didn't get it pulled in.
And it's never too early to start talking about Christmas with Drew.
Mm-mm. The tree's already up. It's not. It's close. Matthew and Jonathan, who are TDing and part of the team, and then Zach and a couple other folks are going to learn real quick. Like, oh, it's Christmas already in July. Yeah. It is, because we want to be joyful. We don't actually decorate that early. Actually, this past year, Tom, I will say we did not actually decorate the studio at all. Didn't happen. Christmas Eve, Houston Texans at Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles getting all the holiday games in Philly. So just Houston Texan fans, if you go there or if you live there, but like you will have batteries thrown at you in the dead of winter, like cold ass batteries thrown at your face. So just be careful going there. Terrible people, the Eagles fans, but great team. Texans, Eagles. That's Christmas Eve. Then we got a Christmas triple header, which I will just say, thank God, because the last 2 years at least, the Vikes have played during the Christmas lineup, and that's the surefire way, like most easy way to ruin Christmas for the Berquist family, because it doesn't usually go well. But the Packers play the Bears. We got another NFC North matchup. That is the first game on Christmas. The Bills and Broncos. And then the Rams and Seahawks. So Bills, Broncos, Packers, Bears, Eagles, all like doubling up on the holidays. Their wives are pissed. But that's another great lineup. I'd put the graphic up there, but of the ones I said, Texans, Eagles, Packers, Bears, Bills, Broncos, Rams, Seahawks. What's your favorite, Nate? I'll go with you first.
Oh, Bears, Packers, baby. You always gotta love that game.
Yep. Outdoor, cold as balls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Makes you feel good being inside, watching it on TV. It's great.
Yeah. It's like, what color is Caleb going to paint his fingernails today? Like, you don't know. It's a surprise. He had a pretty good year last year. I like to dog on him, but Ben Johnson.
He's only getting better.
He is. He's only getting better, and now having Ben Johnson's there. Like, the NFC North is legitimately terrifying. I'm not saying that because I'm a Vikings fan and we talk about more than the NFC North, but the NFC North is really pretty scary because when Jordan Love's playing well, the Packers are the Packers. Now that Caleb's playing well and they have the right coach there and the right system in place and some of the freaking weapons that he's got, like, it's crazy. As you mentioned earlier, the Lions remarkably have been not just good but great the last several years, and then the Vikes have a loaded roster. You know, once we figure out the quarterback situation, which I think they will. So that's a tough freaking division. No two ways about it. First week, I'm going to read one other thing because this got leaked and we don't have a graphic for this either. Sorry. But first week, so the season opener, Patriots, Seahawks, that's happening Wednesday night. Should be a good game. Obviously, two great teams. They had a lot of success last year. Thursday night, we got 49ers Rams from Australia.
Yes.
You going to make that game, Tom? You going to be at that one?
Down under. We're going to go to Malula Bar, and then we're going to watch the game.
Okay. I don't think we'll be making the jaunt there as a team, but anyone who does, like, that's great. I think it'll be great. But those are both two, Wednesday and Thursday. Those are two compelling games. I like both of those. And then the 1 o'clock game Sunday, first Sunday, Bears Panthers, not thrilling. Bucks Bengals, intriguing. Where's Joe Burrow at? Where are the Bengals at? What's some changes in Tampa as well in terms they lose Mike Evans. What's going on there? Ravens Colts, also some intrigue there. Bills Texans should be decent. I wish it was in Buffalo. Their first game in the new stadium is week 2. That one's in Houston. Saints Lions, not thrilling. Jets Titans, no. Browns Jaguars. I'll be interested to see what the Jags do this year. Can they have a repeat year like last year? You get rid of Travis Etienne, still have some other pieces there. Falcons, Steelers, none of those games super thrilling. I think of those, the ones I mentioned, Bucks, Bengals, Bills, Texans, although the Texans seem to kind of be going the other direction. But that one and maybe Ravens, Colts are the ones that stand out to me in that first 1 o'clock hour. I know I read them and they're not on the screen, but of the ones you remember, like Nate, any of them that excite you?
You read so many there, it kind of lost me. Sorry.
There's Bucks, Bengals, Ravens, Colts, Bills, Texans, Bears, Panthers.
There we go.
Saints, Lions, Jets, Titans, Browns, Jags, Falcons, Steelers. No, it's not that one. That's a different graphic. Anyways, 1 o'clock. None of them are thrilling. Wednesday, Thursday, are good. Late Sunday.
Went and I was like, none of these are jumping off the page at me.
Yeah. No, it's not a very sexy 1 p.m.
I've got another prediction for you.
Okay.
Speaking of Mike Evans is not going to finish out the entire season because he's had a history of injuries, and now being in San Francisco and having that power plant next to the practice facility, it's going to be a short season for him.
Okay. A somewhat reasonable conspiratorial theory that you're presenting here. We'll go with it. Commanders, Eagles. This is the 4 p.m. slate. Commanders, Eagles, Packers, Vikings in Minnesota. That's probably of the Sunday games so far the best Sunday game we got. Again, not because of that's just a great division matchup. Two rivals who hate each other with a passion. Cardinals, Chargers, Dolphins, Raiders. Everyone's going to be watching that one.
Yes.
Dolphins, what a terrible game. Golly, man. Even the players are like, should we play this? This is...
The Dolphins are going to shock everybody this year.
I don't know, but it's 2026. The amount of crazy shit that's happened this year so far. Maybe the Dolphins do come out and surprise us. New coaching staff, new leadership, terrible accounting and finances, but maybe they figure it out. Cowboys, Giants, as we've talked about, is that night. That's a good one, too. I think Vikes, Packers, Cowboys, Giants are the games of the day, and then we also talked about Broncos, Chiefs being the Monday night opener. So that's the first week. Pretty damn good. And you know what? They could play a bunch of raggedy-ass prison midgets, the Dolphins versus prison midgets, and I would watch it because football is back, and it will be worth it. Again, I get excited about the Hall of Fame game, which is the ugliest game that you ever watch because it's just flag after flag. None of the starters play other than maybe 3-4 plays. And I'm just so excited. The fact that we're even talking about it has me pretty damn excited. Okay, Tom, your guy, De'Von Achane, Dolphins running back, is now the third highest paid running back in the entire league. He has been extended, re-signed with the Dolphins. Even though they gave up everyone around him, he's back. 4-year, $68 million contract, $32 million of it guaranteed. Right move. If you're the Dolphins, some of the other moves you've made, suspect. Some of them make sense. You got to keep that guy. This guy's been electric. He's been really good. If I'm him, I don't know how thrilled I am that I'm there with all the pieces around me getting yanked. But my bank account says I'm pretty pumped. All right, what do you think, Dolphin boy?
Yeah, if I'm him, if I'm Achane, I'm kind of in the beginning. I'm like, oh no, let me out of here. It's a fire sale for everybody except me. What does this mean? But I will also take it as a compliment because now they've committed to him. Not to say that the Dolphins aren't afraid to get rid of you and continue to pay you.
Right.
But they're definitely looking at him as being a very significant part of their offense. So if I was Achane, I would be like, this is a great compliment to me and where they think my career can go. So I think for me, but I'm not making the kind of money he is, that would inspire me to be in peak top physical performance because they've made this commitment. If the season doesn't go that well, I'm still in a position to look good for other teams, knowing that I'm probably still going to get paid by them if they decide to get rid of me.
Right. Yeah, everyone on their team should feel good. Don't worry, honey. We might lose our job, but we're getting paid. It's actually ideal if we do because they just look at Tua's deal, paying him lots of money for years, and he's not going to be there. Okay. Last thing on the NFL, real quick. There was the Players Association came out and did a poll and a survey, and of the 1,700 NFL players, 92%. I don't think this is super shocking to me, but 92% when asked if they prefer grass or turf chose grass. 92% of the players want grass. And what's interesting about this is it's more gentle on the body for sure. Has it gotten better? Has the field grass gotten better? Yeah, okay. It has to an extent compared to what we used to play on when it was literally a thin layer of razor sharp carpet on top of concrete that not only blew your knee out and hurt you, but the freaking rug burn that you would get from it when you got in the shower, you became the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Like you didn't know that there was this beast inside of you, even being an aggressive football player. And then you get in there and the water hits certain parts that you didn't know had just ripped off. Oh my gosh, that was the worst. At any rate, the turf has gotten better, but interestingly enough, the injuries, I was reading about this because I was then intrigued. the data shows, like in terms of knee injuries, which is the main concern. Obviously, you look at an ACL injury, which is pretty common and prevalent, unfortunately. It wasn't as stark of a contrast as you might think between turf and grass, but really the players just want it because it's softer on the body, it's easier on the body, if it's better. And part of what they were saying too is that they want, this was not part of the official survey, is they want grass like FIFA to FIFA standards, because they're putting in grass in all these stadiums, even the turf stadiums here in the U.S. for the tournament, and they're like, we want that kind of grass. Like, we'll take that. And I get that, and I think grass looks better by far. So this is kind of like the 24 or the ACC and the Big 12 want 24-team playoffs so they can get a couple of their teams into the playoff. Not surprising that the NFL players prefer grass, unless you guys have a different take.
No, and I think the reason is because grass is natural. And even if you introduce a turf that feels, looks, it has the same cushioning as regular grass, it's like lab-grown meat. It's just not going to be the same. And when you have grass being a living thing, it also has energy that's coming up from it, from the earth. And what gets blocked a lot between human beings and the natural energy that's provided by the earth through the rubber bottoms on our shoes, to all these dulling mechanisms that have been put in, we lose that energy link between the human body and the grass. So yes, anything natural is always going to be better. And consciously, the players probably don't know that, because they probably haven't gone in as much depth as I have about, what's being done to dull our senses and our energy and our connection with the earth. But to me, that's the reason. That's why you always feel better if you're wearing leather-soled shoes that don't have any rubber on it, or if you're walking around with a gentleman's walking stick that doesn't have a rubber tip at the end. You're feeling that natural energy coming up from the earth, and it's invigorating your body.
Nate, have you gotten a walking stick since you started working with Tom? He hasn't gotten that? Okay.
I have not. I'll be waiting for it this Christmas, though.
Yes, exactly. There is the element of grounding and natural. 100%. I agree. I agree with everything you said, sans the walking stick. The leather-soled shoes, interesting. I don't disagree. Lightning strikes may be better to have rubber sole. I don't know. I don't know the science there. But I love how you compared it to lab-grown meat. Nate, would you rather eat lab-grown meat or sleep with Martin Short?
Oof. I'll take the lab-grown meat.
Okay.
I'll take the lab-grown meat.
I think it's close for me. Yeah. He is. I think he is a cuddler. And he talks a lot.
Talks a lot. Very energetic. Needs lots of attention.
Yes. Yeah.
Be like, Martin, go back to sleep. It's only 7 a.m., bro. I'm trying to rest here.
I like it. Okay. Okay. I need you to weigh in on something else, Nate. We're gonna skip this break for time and move on since we got started late. So Cleveland went up 3-2 last night in the series over Detroit. Detroit faces elimination tomorrow night. You got the T-Wolves facing elimination tomorrow night. Where do you see these series going? What are your thoughts on them?
I think Cleveland wraps it out. It's not necessarily, but yeah, it seems from the outset that this was a series that was meant to go 4-2. Detroit just can't get enough scoring to match Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Cade Cunningham's your main scorer. Sure, you got Tobias Harris, but he's good for maybe 20 at best. You're lucky if you're getting that. Ausar Thompson's more of a defensive guy. Jalen Duren, you can't rely on him for offense. So it's just they can't keep up. Cade Cunningham, he's still young. He still turns the ball over a little too much, and that's what cost him last game. So, sure, he could clean all that up, and the other players could step up and score, and this could go 7. But most likely, we're going to see it wrapped out tonight in Cleveland at home. Especially, Cleveland's won 3 straight now, so it seems like they might just have Detroit's number at this point and have them figured out. So I think they move on. I think the Spurs also can wrap it out. We saw what they could do last game, and they were trying Wemby again, and Wemby responded on the court instead of with his elbows this time, and they put him down pretty hard. So I also think San Antonio wraps it out at home. However, you can never count and Edwards out. So
you can't. I agree. I think that both of these get wrapped up in the next game, but I mean, it is the playoffs. You never know. And I kind of thought after the first game, you know, the Spurs and T-Wolves, I don't know. I just the T-Wolves have some fight in them, but then you think like, okay, they showed up and they're there, and then they get just curb stomped into oblivion again the other night. It's like, all right, maybe they don't have what it takes. I don't even know anymore. It's Minnesota sports. Just
Julius Randle nowhere to be found, and that was the real difference maker.
That was there's some great memes about that too since that game. That was a big difference maker. And then we had some stupid things like I think Nas really was told like go, you know, he was like the, you know, the Joker, like Johnny and them from Karate Kid, like go antagonize the shit out of Wemby. And he got a little into it, and then he ended up getting some tease the other night. It's like, bro, like just simmer down. Like you can't play that way against them because you're hoping that everything goes right and you're having everything go wrong. Wow, Wemby had scored 16 points in like 10 seconds. It was like a Guinness Book of World Records. Like, holy shit, like how did we haven't even tipped the ball off and the dude's got this many points. It was crazy. We got the PGA Championship this weekend. It kicked off this morning. And the really interesting thing is, I don't know if you guys saw this. It doesn't happen often. But South Africa's Garrick, I don't know if you say Higo. Don't know. Handsome fella. Good golfer. Got penalized right off the bat. 2 strokes. Showed up a minute late for his tee time. And I was hoping that it was like he was taking a shit and he just, you know, couldn't get there in time. I think he was just putting on a nearby putting green, so it's really not that sexy of a story. Not that taking a dump is sexy. It's not. But you get the point. I was hoping the story was better. But he gets punished, still pars out that hole, ends up 2 over, because of the penalty. But the Joker, he figured it out. He finished 1 under for the day. Like you think about what a mental game golf is. And the guy, you can watch the video online. The guy pulls him aside as he's walking in, like you're penalized 2 strokes for being late. Do you understand that? Yes, I do. Like you're already like, shit. Pressure's on. It's PGA Championship. I want to go win some money. And you're off to a bad start. He rallies, pars out with, you know, if you're not considering the penalty, the first hole, and then really has a pretty damn good day and finishes 1 under. That's a mental fortitude right there, Sir Garrick, and we applaud you around these parts. So this will be interesting. Obviously, one of the majors. Did you guys see that, by the way?
I did not.
The opening round, or
no, the Garrick missing. Yeah.
No, but I'm in favor of it. I think it's important to, if you have rules like that, to enforce them, even if it is a minute. Once you open up the floodgates by, you know, letting somebody, you know, take a pass for a minute, even though it seems like, you know, bogus, it's, you know, just a minute and this and that. Eventually, the moment that you don't enforce that, then forget about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I think if it goes to 5, correct me, golf people out there. I like golf. I watch golf. But I make up my own rules for golf. So, because I have to, because I'm not good enough. So, but I think if you miss if it's 5 minutes, I think you're like fined and you're out. Like you're done. Like you're done for the tournament. Something to that extent. So I do appreciate that. Like if you're not early or late, I get it. So let's skip through this next one. We can skip that. And let's just get to this, and then we'll hit a couple memes and get out of here for the week. This is just kind of a random clip, but we did this a couple weeks ago. And this is Trump being Trump, talking about the ballroom, the secret, you know, the secret military complex and the ballroom. He didn't actually bring up the other part this time, but we'll just listen and then we'll talk about it. Here he is.
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. and we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule. I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. It's double the size. You are not a smart person. Right over here. Wait a minute. Right over here. And based on a lot of things that have happened over the last year, we doubled the size of the ballroom. So we're going to have a ballroom that's appropriate for the White House. We doubled the size. The ballroom now is ahead of schedule, and it's a little bit under budget, depending on the finishes that we use.
Vintage Trump right there. Vintage Trump. We're doing great. We're doing great things. You dumb. I love it's not only you dumb, but it's you dumb person leaning into her mic. Some people love that about him. What did you say, Nate?
What did she ask that made him say that?
I don't know. It's Trump. She might not have asked anything. And again, I like the guy. I think he gets 60, 70% of the things right, which is a pretty damn good percentage. But and people are mad at me for even saying that. That's fine. Bless your heart. But this is right here. I think it's just great because he's like, we're doing great things. He's explaining great things. The White House should have a ballroom. I don't disagree. Well, why not? Like, let's do it. Let's have it. And it's going to look very Trump-like. It's going to probably look very similar to other elements of the White House and also some elements of the Mar-a-Lago ballroom, which is very nice, very Trump. But it's just you stupid person. He might as well have been like, you dumb bitch.
Yes,
like
that's probably what he wanted to say. Yeah. But for myself, I am not in favor of, as I like to call it, the ballroom, BAAL room.
As in bail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I pronounce it ball.
Okay. Ball, bail, however. Yeah.
And also, I'm not in favor of it because the new architects that have come in have changed the shape of it, and it looks like the Temple of Solomon. So one of the issues that you run into, that I run into being a conspiracy junkie, is you think everything is a conspiracy, and then you're always able to connect dots with things. But with this, I don't mind adding a ballroom, but a bail room I'm not with, especially if the underneath portion of it is going to be dedicated to the intel community. I'm not down with this.
Yeah, fair. If you're going in depth like that, absolutely fair. And also, the fact that we've said it's going to be super secret, it's not anymore. Like you can't do that. Like you can't say it's super secret and then talk about it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, DC is going to screw everything up because that's what they do. It's a bunch of children running around with drivers. I guess I'm just saying I don't care if there's a ballroom. I don't care if there's a cafeteria. I don't care if they put a Starbucks in the White House. There's a Starbucks at the agency, which is also weird. That said, when you're there, it's kind of nice to have. But I don't care. It's just kind of remarkable.
Yeah, that he would take the time to shit talk a reporter. I mean, again, it's something that we've never seen before. And I know that this is exactly what a lot of people don't like about Trump. I think it's funny because I think anything out of context is funny. Would you ever see Obama doing that? No. Would you ever see Biden doing that? No. Would you ever see W doing that? No.
No.
But for Trump, it just seems to work. I get a kick out of it. I'm not offended by it. But yeah. I understand how other people get pissed by it.
Here's the thing. It can be multiple things. Like, would I do it that way, even though that's what I want to say? Because all the media on both sides I think are trash? No, that's not what I would say or how I'd encourage it to be done. But I get an absolute kick out of it, too. I think it's hilarious as shit. Is it all professional? No, not at all. Not even remotely. Is it presidential? Definitely not. Is it Trump, though? And is it kind of interesting? Yes. Does any of our opinions matter? I guess not. So what does it really matter? It's just fun to talk about. I don't know.
I think it shows he's cracking. I mean, you got everything going on right now, and then he's sitting there trying to brag about the ballroom, and they're all like, hey, what about this war in Iran? And he's like, oh, the ballroom's double the size, I said. And it's like, nobody was asking that. Nobody cares. We kind of care about the gas prices, and he's just cracking. It's like, he shit talks China all the time, and now he's trying to sit down with Jinping to be like, hey, you think you could talk to Iran about ending this war? And then he's like, look over here at the ballroom. Look at the ballroom.
It does seem like those meetings have gone well. That said, China's going to be China. We're going to be America. We're always going to be major enemies. It does seem like it's gone. Well, I was shocked to see, not to go too far down this road, I was shocked to see China say they agreed that Iran shouldn't have nuclear weapons. I kind of thought Russia and China would take a different stance on that. At the end of the day, like, just either blow us all up or let us watch sports in peace. That's what I care about. Like, I don't, Jesus come back. That's the ideal. Like,
we'll always have the Thanksgiving games.
We will always have the Thanksgiving games. Great slate. Great reminder there, Nate, because this slate is badass. Like, you're gonna have, what is it? Tryptamine? Isn't that what we get from Turkey?
Tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put tryptamine in there too. No one knows what it is, but put it in. Like, inject that straight in, like right cheek, and just soak up the day. It's going to be awesome. We've talked college game day today and the NFL schedule. The rest of it comes out 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. What's not to like? What were you going to say, Tom?
I was just going to say, if there is upcoming NFL season with the hantavirus.
Oh, you shut your mouth. We've got a couple memes about that, which we're going to get into.
You didn't say it right. You're supposed to say, shut your whorish mouth.
Shut your whorish mouth. Okay, let's get into some memes. By the way, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Let's do memes.
That's meme-tastic.
That's meme-tastic.
We should do that one more time.
Okay. We're very light on memes today. The trick is being less political. It's a bitch finding memes. So if you guys have them, send them. Like, come on, like, send them. I know you've sent political memes before. Producer@redbeachmedia.com. Don't send us some weird, crazy ass shit. Use it responsibly. Send good memes. Send questions, comments. Do all those things. But send in some memes, not video one. We can do video. That's the thing. We could do video. We try to keep it just images. But what were you going to say, Tom?
I was going to say sports fans can't meme.
They can't.
I go deep trying to find sports-related memes, and they're very few.
Well, here's what's happening. Slowly but surely, the old show is creeping back into this show because you just have to use those memes to make it work. And it's like, I thought you didn't do politics. Well, like, make some better fucking memes. And then we won't talk about it. But you're right. The sports ones are terrible. Every Thursday I'm searching. It's also terrible being a Minnesota sports fan. Speaking of this one, here's an astronaut shooting another astronaut who's staring out at the Vikings Wild, T-Wolves, and Twins. It's just endless suffering. Always has been. Yep, 100%. Just want to bury my face in a... Next meme. Okay, how to protect yourself from the hantavirus. And we've got some earplugs going step by step. One, first putting it in and then making sure it gets into that ear canal. Don't push it too deep, obviously, but you do want to make sure that it's seated well so then it can expand if you're using a foamy. Depends on the ear pro that you're using. But that's the best way to protect yourself is just don't listen to all the bullshit because there's already lots of things happening there. And on that same note, if you do see someone who's super concerned, make sure you respond appropriately by pointing and laughing at them when they put the mask back on and go into hysterics. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for all the chaos, the fear-mongering. This is the only strain of it, though, that can go from human to human. Like, okay, all right. But, like, are we going to do this again? Are we going to try and shut everything down, ruin everyone's lives, ruin families, point people out, set up call lines, hotlines? I hope not. And like Tom said, I'm telling you, like, I built this standing desk so as we talk about football season getting ever closer, I can hide the erection that exists behind this wood wall. Do not take it away and make me flaccid by canceling games over some bullshit virus. Don't do it. Just don't do it. That's all I ask. I don't want attention. I don't want to have a say-so in most things. I would like a say-so on the college, commission, whatever board we set up. But outside of that, I don't want any other say. I just don't want you to take sports from us. For the love of God, don't ever do it again. Or something terrible is going to happen. Something terrible is going to happen. Is anyone here worried about the hantavirus?
I've always been scared of the hantavirus. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I first heard of it, like not now, but a long time ago, and it was like 75% fatal. You get this. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking like, you get told that it's like, yeah, you're probably not gonna live through this, but it'll be a slow, painful death, so you'll get to think about it. Like, but I don't think this is gonna go pandemic style. I mean, all those people were kind of quarantined and like they sent them home on planes or something for whatever reason, but I don't think it's gonna. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about another pandemic here.
I hope not. I hope you're right. And obviously, I don't want anyone to get it. The actual virus itself is pretty terrible. I just don't want the hysteria and everything to shut down again. It's just I can't freaking take it anymore. I can take this look that Ricky Fowler's rocking right now, and this guy's comment. Ricky Fowler looks like he sells illegal fireworks and shitty Coke. This is my favorite Fowler era by miles. He's had some great looks. He's always had great looks. This one right here is I agree with Calhoun. This is his best look, and I don't think it's close.
No, that's legendary. He's got everything going on. I'm just hoping he's rocking a mullet.
Yeah, I mean, it basically is. It looks like it kind of is. At least it's pulled. At least you can get it back there to the point where when you're wearing a hat, it looks like you've got a party going on in the back. And I love it that he's wearing his traditional Sunday orange there. No one wears orange typically. Ricky does, but you mix a Palatka mustache with a
yes,
a freaking mullet and orange. Like, it's beautiful. I love everything about it. All right,
looks like a NASCAR driver.
He does look like a NASCAR. Yeah, it's like
those glasses. Those are NASCAR glasses for sure.
Yeah, it definitely, that look gives off Tall Boys and Scratcher vibe to me.
Okay. Okay, Tom, you'll like this one. The NFL, lots of things leaking out. NFL schedule week. Jets Dolphins week 1, 3 a.m. on the Cartoon Network. That's not actually the game, but that's where that game probably should be played when they play twice a year. So maybe it's going on either Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. That's where it's going to be. We've got a Babylon Bee headline here. We got a female on front. Breaking: wife seems upset, and then update, false alarm. She said, "I'm fine." Those dreaded words.
Yeah.
It is so true. It's the same statement from all of them. I'm fine, and then quiet, and then a cold stare back at you like, who are you? Okay. All right. You're fine. I'm going to go have a cigar. I love my wife. My wife never does that. Someone called the Kentucky Derby the Amish NASCAR, and my day hasn't been the same. I think that's a good way of looking at it. Amish NASCAR. I would like to see, Tom, you're into pickleball. We talked about this the other day. What's the next big thing coming? What if we get the Amish racing on ESPN The Ocho, or right here on one of our platforms, with their wagons and their horses around a track?
Yes.
The names, the looks, like they do the bios, and the read up, whatever. I don't know what's a good Amish name,
Ole Yoder.
Amish High, wherever, Pennsylvania.
Eli.
That would be, let's talk to the Amish about it. Let's just go. It'll be like we're doing an old mission, where you go into the villages and do some hearts and minds stuff. I didn't ever really do that, but other people do that stuff. And we'll go in and we'll talk to the elders. I don't know if they have elders. I don't know what they call their people. It's probably the ones with longer beards. But we'll talk to them, and this is attention. You can get more stuff for basket weaving, for building tables and chairs from the proceeds. I think it would be really good.
I think we have Amish food as the concessions. We have them make the concessions, and that'll be the real draw, because they make some great food.
They do. That's
great food.
That's a great point, Nate. I like that. We've stumbled into something here. It's going to be dusty. It's going to be dirty, but it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to change communities around the world. You heard it here first. This is just a good reminder. If you have a bad day at work, remember that this guy, we're talking about Murphy and RoboCop, died at work, and they resurrected him so he could go back to work. You never think of the film that way? Everyone remembers RoboCop from the 80s, but that is true. It's like, obviously he wanted revenge, but we're going to bring your ass back so we can get you back on. And by the way, you're a cyborg now, so you can't clock in, and there's no overtime. You're just...
Yeah, you're not getting paid anymore.
Yeah, just go do it. You got a cool gun that pops out of your hip, but... we got Clint Eastwood here. I've come to a point in my life where I need a much stronger word than fuck. I think we can all resonate with that. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, there's no comments on it. So I guess we're all just good with it. That is the one you go with in dire circumstances. And then this is our last one. We got a picture of Wemby elbowing Naz Reid the other night. He got ejected. Breaking: Victor Wembanyama has become the first immigrant to be ejected from Minnesota. True story. Does not happen often in my home state. He did get ejected though. So that's, I mean, technically we're being right. He got kicked out of the game. All right, folks. We will be back Tuesday, hopefully back live. Sorry for the issues today with tech is tech. Stuff happens. But we're glad to spend time with you whenever you're watching this or listening to this. We'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Enjoy golf this weekend. Enjoy NBA basketball, NHL playoffs, all the things. And we'll see you back here Tuesday. Be safe, be smart, be free.
We got balls and